What's going on, everyone? This is Slackerman with another diecast model review. Today we're looking at the Deagostini F-15E Strike Eagle. I've been kind of on a Strike Eagle kick. It is one of my favorite warplanes, so I'm trying to get more into my collection. So Deagostini, I have collected a few of their diecast models. They usually deal in the 1 in 100 scale or the 1 in 144 scale, so I was surprised that they did a 172 scale Strike Eagle, and I haven't owned anything from Deagostini in that scale, so I was excited to pick this up. I paid around $35 plus shipping to get this, so I have to say for that price point, this is a very good model for that price. I've also got on order, which will be in later this week, the F-15 Strike Eagle from Hobby Master. Now that's a more expensive model, so I'm excited to review that, but to also show kind of a comparison to anyone who's trying to get into or start collecting die-cast planes, to see the difference between a higher end Hobby Master around $100 versus something like this, a $35 or $40 model. So that'll be a cool video to do. So let's get into this review. As far as the packaging, it's just a clamshell, so that's kind of where they skimped out to save some money. They do give you some landing gear, and that's about it. You do get a stand for it, which is pretty flimsy. It does hold the model well, but it does fall apart when you take this off. As far as the model itself, I have to say they did a great job for the price point. I really like that they have, this one has the shark mouth decal on the nose, so that's very cool. It is on both sides. There you can see the kind of in-flight lights. The cockpit is nicely done. No pilots and really no instruments, but again, for the price point, I think they did a good job. Taking a look at the top, they did include all the panel linings, so that's very good. Not as detailed as some models, but again, they did sculpt in some of the panel lining. You do have the air refueling port there, which is nice. Obviously the Air Force Star. On the vertical stabilizers, you have the identifying marks, the airframe, as well as that cool tiger stripe. I think they did a really good job on the engine. They sculpted out the inside of the engine very nicely, so I really like that a lot. So that's very cool. The underside does have that stainless steel look that all these Strike Eagles have. As far as the underside too, they did give you an ordnance, so they have some bigger bombs here. The paint's kind of sloppy on these bombs and on these missiles, but again, for the price point, not too bad. You also get your, I believe, lantern pod, and one of them's a countermeasure pod. Could be wrong on that though, but you have your two targeting pods there, so that's very cool. Again, the underside, they did include all the panel lining and sculpt work, and you do get plugs to kind of plug up these holes where the landing gear would be. Taking a look at the front again, kind of that big F-15 nose. I really like the look of the F-15 from the front with the big air intakes and the big nose, so that looks very cool with all the missiles and the bombs hanging under it. The only thing I don't like is that the vents here, you can see they're not really hollowed out. They kind of have that weird design inside, which I don't like. Again, just taking a look at the air-to-air missiles and bombs, you do have some more decals on the side. And that's pretty much it. I have to say that this is a very light model. It is die-cast, but it is very light. So I would say this is more of something you could pick up and kind of mess around with or play with, and also display, as opposed to a Hobby Master, which is real heavy. Usually it has lots of ordnance that you attach. That's something you would just kind of leave on your shelf and not touch, where this is something more you could pick up and play with, move around or mess around with. So as far as a rating for the price point, again, I would probably give this a 4 out of 5. It's definitely worth the money, and they did a pretty good job on the detail. I would say this reminds me of the Itollari 1 in 100 scale models. This is not as detailed as the Itollari. I think Itollari does a better job than this. But again, for the price point, if you want to get something cheap in the 172 scale, this is the way to go. This is hard to find, again, on eBay. I was lucky to find a seller that just had one. This was used. I don't think they make any more currently, so you'll have to struggle to find one. So again, thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for the Hobby Master Strike Eagle review, and then the comparison, so everyone can see the difference in pricing when you pay $100 for a model versus a $30 to $40 model like this. So hope everyone liked the video, and thanks a lot for watching. Bye.